Hey guys, so today I'm here with the Barricade XHD bull bar with a 20-inch LED light bar fitting all 2010 to 2018 JK Wranglers. So if you're looking for the benefits that a front bumper might offer, but you don't necessarily want the hassle or the cost of swapping out your factory front bumper, this option by Barricade is going to be a great one to take a look at. This is also going to provide you a more aggressive and off-road feel to the front end of your Wrangler with the satin black powder coat finish. It's also going to protect the steel underneath, but it does have a very boxy style to it in comparison to a lot of other standard options for bull bars. Now the main event is the LED light bar. This is going to help you out with your visibility on dark back roads as well as dark trails. It has a spot and a flood beam pattern, which is perfect for something that's mounted up in this location. So that's something that you don't see out of a lot of other bull bars, and I do like that that makes this a little bit more flexible than some other options. So this is going to be roughly $300, making this a pricier choice when it comes to bull bars on the page, but that's for a couple of different reasons. So first off, you do have the fact that this is different. It's got a boxy feel to it in comparison to the run-of-the-mill bull bar, which usually has some softer curves to it. Now this is also going to integrate this LED light bar, which is going to bump up that price since a lot of other more basic options won't come with that choice. Now I do really like that this is still simple in comparison to an overall full front bumper or even a grille guard. So if you're looking for something that's not over the top, but you still want those benefits that are going to come with a front bumper, then this is a great option to take a look at. So install is going to be a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. You're probably going to need about 2 hours worth of your time and a couple of basic hand tools to get the job done. So speaking of the install, let's jump into that now. The tools that I used for my install were a 3/8" drive ratchet, a 16mm box wrench, a 17mm, 16mm, and 13mm open-ended wrench, a 1/4" drive ratchet, a 10mm, 13mm, 16mm, and 18mm shallow socket, a 10mm deep socket, and the provided Allen key. So before we go ahead and install this on our Wrangler, we do need to put it together. So our first step is going to be to install our gaskets on either side of our crossbars. Now you're going to have a smaller gasket that's going to go at our top crossbar and a larger one that's going to go on our bottom, where we're going to mount up our LED light bar in just a minute. Now they will be side specific, so just keep that in mind. I do have this upside down just to give you guys a better look at how we are going to put this together. So now we can go ahead and piece all of these parts together. Now you're going to take your supplied 8 bolts, your flat washers, your lock washers, as well as the nuts, and we're going to go ahead and connect our top crossbar as well as our lower crossbar to our sides here. So your side supports here are your main pieces that make this up. They're going to be angled outwards, so you will have a bit of an angled end on each of your 2 crossbars here. You want to make sure that they're angled down. So we're just going to thread everything on, make sure everything fits, and then we can tighten everything down. So you're going to have 2 holes up at the top here on either side, and then we're going to have 2 down at the bottom as well. So now that everything's attached, we can go ahead and tighten everything down. I'm going to be using a 16mm socket and 16mm wrench. So because this is angled here, you may not be able to fit the socket in, so I'm just going to use two 16mm wrenches. So before I go ahead and mount this up, I did want to tell you guys a little bit about it. So this is going to be a 20-inch LED light bar that will be mounting up in our bull bar here. And you're getting a spot pattern as well as a flood pattern. So the spot pattern is going to be in the inside, and that's going to shine very far down the road ahead of you. And then you have your flood pattern out on the sides, which is going to be perfect for peripheral visibility. It's not going to shine as far as the spot will, but it's going to allow you a lot of beam pattern on the side skirts of the road. Now you are getting a very durable housing with this. It's going to be die cast aluminum, and you have a black powder coat on it to protect against any corrosion. Now this is going to be IP67 rated. It's not the highest rating, however it is a very standard rating. So while this is mounted up to the front of your Jeep, no dust or no dirt or any water is going to get inside and hurt the LEDs. I do also like the fact that it has a little bit of riveting on the outside. It gives a nice aggressive feel. However, we may not see that out of this bull bar here just because it may cover it up a little, but you are still going to get all of that visibility even when this is mounted up to your bull bar. So because this is upside down, we're going to just place our LED light bar in upside down. Now we won't be able to mount up our brackets while the light bar is actually installed, so we are just going to make sure that these are lined up correctly, and then we'll take our LED light bar away. We're not going to tighten anything down just yet because even though we do have an idea of where our light bar is going, we want to make sure that everything fits correctly at the end. What I do like about this is for the people who live in states that need a front license plate, this also comes with a front license plate option. So this will come with a bracket where you can mount up your license plate in the front if you need it. And it will also come with some hardware to do so. So you're going to take your flat washer, your two flat washers, lock washer, and your button head bolt, and we can go ahead and attach that as well. So since this has one place and this has no adjustability on where we need it to go, we can just tighten these down right away with our provided Allen key and our 10mm socket. So I'm just using a 10mm socket and the provided Allen key, and I'm just going to snug this up. Then we can grab our light bar, put that in place. Then we're gonna take our smaller hardware with our lock washer and flat washer, and we can thread that into the side of our light bar through our bracket. Do that on either side. While we're here, we can tighten that down with a 13mm socket. So after that's all set, we can center these brackets again to where we had them set before. And then we can tighten those down with a 13mm socket and 13mm wrench. Now we can mount up our brackets on our Wrangler and mount this to our Wrangler. So what we need to do now is locate the outside holes on our crash bar that we're going to be utilizing to mount up our bull bar. Then we can take our welded nut plate and insert that into the crash bar here. Line that up. Once that's in place, we can take our driver's side bracket and bolt that in place. Now we can take our secondary bracket and mount that up to the outside. You're going to be using the longer provided hardware for this, as well as the nylon lock nut. Now while that's there, we can snug that up with a 16mm socket and a 17mm wrench. Now I am going to adjust this back into place. We just want to make sure that it's snugged up first. Now with the two front bolts tightened up, we can tighten up the back bolts, making sure that our bracket is straight and parallel to the ground. So I'm going to be using an 18mm socket in order to do that. Now we can do the same thing on the other side. So now we're just going to line this up and go ahead and install our provided bolts. So once you have one bolt on either side secured, we can attach the next bolt. It will be either your upper or your lower. I attached both lowers, so I am attaching the upper one over here. So now we can tighten it down with that 16mm socket. So now we can tighten down the other side. It may be helpful to use a small extension, maybe like a 3-inch extension. However, you don't necessarily need it. After that's tightened down, we can go ahead and wire up our light bar. So what we need to do next is wire in our LED light bar. Now you are provided a wiring harness. I do like that since you don't have to outsource on this and everything is completely plug and play. We just have to hook it up to our battery and run a switch into our cab area. What we can do first is pop our hood. So first I'm going to send the end that is going to be connected to our light bar down behind our grille. So there is a passway right in front of the air box here. I'm just gonna pass that down here for now. We can plug it in at the end when everything's all connected. Now we can run the rest of this wire on the side of our air box here, unravel the rest of our harness. So you're gonna have a couple of wires coming off of the resistor. You're gonna have your positive and negative terminal leads, and then you're going to have your switch wire. Your switch wire is going to be passed over to the other side, so we can pass it through our firewall to make it easily accessible inside our cab area while you're driving. We can tuck our excess wires down next to our air box. You can clean this up with zip ties or however you like. And then what we're gonna do is take a 10mm socket so we can go ahead and attach our terminals, starting with our positive. We can do the same thing for the negative. So right above your master cylinder here, there is an access hole on our firewall. We can pass our switch wire through. I don't have the switch connected because it would be difficult to pass the full switch through, so I just disconnected it from this little clip here. We can reconnect it while we're inside the cab area, but this is going to come out right at the footwell next to your clutch pedal. And what you can also do is zip tie this wire up with the wire loom that's already inside of your engine bay. I'm going to do that so it's not sitting on the back of your engine and potentially burning the wire. So now we can go into the inside of our cab area and connect our switch. So like I said, this will come down right next to your clutch pedal. Then we can attach our wire. We can peel off the backing for our switch and put it in an accessible location. Then you can make sure that that's out of the way so it doesn't interfere with your driving. You can actually pull it from the inside of the engine bay. And then we can move back to the front of the Wrangler and connect it at our light bar. Now we can take the lead from our light and the lead from the end of our wiring harness and go ahead and plug that in. Now you may have to go back and just tighten up some of this wiring with some zip ties, but after that's done and you close your hood, you're all set to go. So that's gonna wrap it up for my review and install. Make sure you like and subscribe. And for more videos like this, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.